but you're gonna have to be extremely skilled and lucky to parry like a sword attack with another sword.
Well, depends on the sword.
Especially with the two-handed, because you're distributing your weight evenly with those two swords, and swords are not very light; they're pretty heavy.
Once again, that also depends on the sword.
Well, even
That's
with
why I said slim blade and not iron blade.
Because you could have a falchion that you can use a parry, and then just have a rapier.
if that's, I mean, like I said, it's still like very uneasy to parry, and even if you parry, a shield is just so much more effective to parry. And like, let's say they strike you one really hard with one swing, and you parry it off with like one arm or one sword, and you're gonna lose. It's just too hard. So essentially, you're gonna have to drop the other hand and just hold it two hands to block it. It's dual wielding is just, I guess it's more effective in a one-on-one.
The more benefit is if you have somebody that has a shield, they have their shield on their right arm and they have their weapon on their left. They come at you to attack. You easily sidestep to their left. Now they have a shield that they either have to hit with you or they have to re-maneuver themselves so they can hit you with their weapon. You have a lot more maneuverability since you're not carrying a big ass shield that slows you down.
Yeah, I guess that theoretically can happen. So it's technically a one-on-one. I mean, technically one-on-one. You're right, maybe.
Because as long as you take advantage of their weakness, which is they don't have a slashing weapon in their left hand because they have a shield that only does blunt damage. You just have to stay out of range of their blunt damage and then just try to get them off balance, off kilter. And then your small little hits start meaning a lot since they can't even get a single hit because you keep taking advantage of their less chance to maneuver themselves.
Well, dual wielding doesn't give you more hits.
It's not supposed to.
I know.
But in the
It's supposed
aspects
to give you a better
of
advantage.
You don't get more hits. You take one turn to swing with one arm, and if you get parry, then you lose that swing. So then you take another arm to swing it. So you get the same amount of hits. If I were to use a shield,
but if you swung at the same time, that means they would be blocking two different things.
No. Well.
Hello.
But it's like if you swing two swords at the same time, it's like swinging one big sword. It's
Not really.
Effective. Okay. Well, if you go for like an overhead swing with two swords, you can just block sideways with one sword, or parry with your shield because it's wide enough to do so, and then you leave yourself vulnerable. If you attack from like crisscross, it requires you to more force, so you can just parry one and you're off kilter because it requires too much force. But you're not strong enough to do it, or it won't cut in too deep. If you go for a poke, you can just parry off with a shield, with two swords, and stab you again, or thrust. Yeah. And most swords are not really good at thrusting.
Rapiers, long swords.
I was about to say, rapiers can get the job.
Bastard swords.
A person wielding two rapiers can parry you, repulse you, knock out your weapon, sidestep.
Even claymores. Claymores are deadly with that.
Oh. Claymores are two-handed weapons.
Yeah.
Not to a Viking.
Holding a claymore with one hand is without extreme strength. It's just you're asking to be off kilter 90% of the time.
I do find it funny when I watch medieval movies or flicks and see the fully armored unit and then they go into a combat and they get sliced in the sword and taken down. I'm like, what's the point of you wearing your armor if every single attack that hits you, you get killed with?
It reduces the fatality of the attack.
No, I'm just talking about how movies
Realistically,
portray
that's
that
really hard.
it doesn't even matter if they had the armor on, just a single slash. Yep, they're down.
Well, I think there's because realistically, that's kind of impossible
Not really.
to cut a man in half while wearing full armor.
Oh yeah, to cut a man in half. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Have you watched the Deadliest Warrior videos of them like cutting like a pig in half with like
Pig in half,
pounding
yeah.
it around?
yeah,
It was
I have.
2.5 pigs with a katana as well.
Yeah. Like, they don't factor in wearing clothes and all that. They just say like it can cut through your flesh. You know,
right.
you can't slice through someone like that because you don't have from your ribs down to your hips. You don't have any bones except for your spine.
Yeah,
All that's just meat that can be sliced,
that can be sliced. Yes.
depending on the sharpness of the blade.
Well, Itachi, I would say that
The room
sword
in half.
versus sword versus shield is dependent on what kind of swords each people use and the shield. Because a heavier shield would definitely require a lot more feats and strength.
I mean,
And
if you like a tower shield, yeah. But I'm talking about like just a regular medieval. Like if we're talking about medieval times, we're just gonna say medieval times just for the sake of the argument. In the same era, they have like a small wooden shield, even a buckler. Even a buckler can
I was
carry.
just getting ready to say, are you trying to say a buckler?
No, I'm not. Not just a buckler. Just like a round wooden shield. It's about table like it's a little bit bigger than a buckler, but not too awfully big. It's just work just
Your
as fine.
average sword weighs about 5 to 8 pounds.
Right.
Your average round shield is about 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, of course you're not. Of course, yeah, the maneuverability is. I agree. You're not very mobile, but you don't have to be. Most of the swings from a two-handed sword
Option-
are.
The option of the two sword also gives you the chance to freely drop your weapon and move around, while your shield doesn't give you that option because you have to slip out of it, but it's already tied so tight to your arm that it's not possible.
But in a medieval fight, you kind of want to be able to use both arms for something, anyways. You know, you don't want to use a one-handed sword against like a two-handed fight. So you don't want to slip out of your shield. You want to stay with your shield. It's for
Yeah,
parrying.
but
and this is why you are the shield person and then he is the sword person.
And I'm not in this argument because I just throw magical objects that don't exist.
his shield doesn't matter to me. I just burn him.
Yep.
I'm not too sure. Is that what, or does a round wooden shield define as a buckler? I'm not too
No.
sure what makes a buckler.
Buckler is smaller. It's
Smaller.
strapped to your forearm.
There's a
But-
small shield with the center of it usually metal. It's designed to kind of like hit the
Parry.
blade instead of just taking the hit.
It's a parrying weapon.
It's a
Yep.
parrying weapon.
It's a parrying defense.
Parry
You
shield.
call it a weapon. You can't shield bash with it, but it's great for parrying enemies with weapon attacks.
You can also
It's,
hit him in the face with it. It's
You can
like
also,
hitting someone with brass knuckles.
if you didn't know, you can also wear a buckler while dual wielding swords.
Yep, because they're
It's
so light.
really hard.
No,
Really hard,
it's what they teach you to wear as practice until
Well-
you learn how to parry with swords.
How about this? Mace beats both of them at the same time.
I think during medieval times they only used the mace to get past the shields.
Yeah. It was the shield
They
breaker.
would destroy
It
him.
was shields and armored people.
And then, like once that happened, they
Bludgeoning
just...
weapons.
But even then, wasn't it like the Deadliest Warrior where they kind of disproved that the mace is kind of like a... They kind of proved that the mace is not very effective. Like
The
it's
shield
strong to
was
break.
going,
No,
if I
no.
remember, was like
Medieval
metal.
maces was what we call
Meat grinders.
Anti-tank rifle today.
Pretty much.
Okay.
All you had to do was land one solid hit on the side of someone's helmet, and they're done.
Okay.
And even if you hit them in the chest or something, you're breaking ribs.
knock
you
the
hit their
wind out.
shield. It's designed to where if you hit their shield, you're supposed to break their wrist or damage their arm
Yeah.
or whatever. It's just the hit alone, letting that hit you, is what deals the damage.
You ever hit a baseball bat or a hammer to like a iron pole or something like that?
Yeah, that hurts.
That's exactly how it feels to the other person when they're trying to block
That's very true.
a mace. You feel that shiver, because if you was holding a shield up, protecting yourself, either your
That's
forearm's gonna go, your wrist is gonna break, or the shield's gonna shatter, and you're still gonna drop your arm because of all the vibrating damage.
That's true.
Or you could block it with a sword, and it could break your sword.
It'll bend the sword, and then you can use it as a boomerang.
I'm okay with this. I got this.
Boomerang blade, go.
Which is, I give a good point to the shield, because even though it may break, if you parry with your sword and you lose your sword,
You're screwed.
you're not screwed, because a mace takes
Because-
time for the person to take another swing. You could have a secondary knife hidden on the back of your shield that you've just been waiting to use.
Oh yeah. And yeah, they do. Don't they have that? Yeah, they do have that medieval times, right?
Big shields are big enough to do that. It's just extra weight for you, but
Mhm.
if you know your combat and you know what your shields can do versus what they can do, you can technically anybody can be anybody with just skill.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone else have a
But-
sense of impending doom?
I do.
Do what?
Sense of impending doom.
For Requiem?
Atashi says,
Yeah.
Depending on the mace, I don't think you could even attempt to parry or block with the sword. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the smartest thing for someone to do.
Well, parrying with it is a bad idea, because you'll either break your wrist or break the sword.
Generally,
But-
pairing a
You can,
weapon with a sword is really hard.
yeah,
It requires a lot from the person that's trying to parry. You need proper footing, momentum,
Yeah.
and then just not necessarily don't need strength. You just need the leverage
true.
off everything to be able to get that.
if anything's right, the mace is shorter than a sword, so you can technically cut their hand, even though you'll lose your weapon.
Or your
Again.
life.
In medieval times, the sword's really hard to pierce. It's really hard to cut through a lot of the metals in medieval times, especially the swords. The swords were not designed
Well,
for that.
No, because swords were meant
Badly
for
designed.
getting underneath the armor.
You're not understanding the point of why you want to hit their hand with the sword. It's not to cut them. It's to
stop them.
it's to knock their thumb, so they let go of the mace,
Fair
and you
enough.
could charge them with the shield.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a dirty trick of tackling, but it's your life or
Effective.
his life.
Right.
Like, the only option is to dodge. Yes. I'll
It
tell
would-
you a weapon that's extremely deadly on the battlefield with a skilled user. A flail.
That takes a lot of prep. But once you actually get it going, yes.
I think that weapon was only made to knock down the front lines of like a medieval war.
It
So they
was
have like shields everywhere.
It's initially meant to take out horsemen.
Yeah.
Ah.
It was a bludgeoning weapon versus horses, and it just became a bludgeoning weapon versus everything.
Yep.
Because they would swing it, and then when cavalry would run in, they'd either hit the rider or the horse, and it'd just kill a horse instantly.
Oh.
So instead of sending all their lances to the front line, they sent a bunch of maces. But nothing
That's not-
beats a good old arrow that you don't see coming. Oh, medieval times was so deadly. If you were front lines, you were screwed. If you were back line, you were screwed. If you were anywhere in the middle of combat, you were screwed, either from your side or their side. Because freaking
Just being there,
archers.
you were probably screwed.
But the mortality and birth rate during that era is a lot.
Yes?
Kings needed more soldiers.
I think soldiers had it bad. I think the peasants had it the worst.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What? Why do we have to give more taxes? Because the soldiers are out there
Disease and
fighting.
feces everywhere.
It taxed everything. Cleaning up
Yes.
the poop hole tax.
That would be like the most depressing job ever. Gotta go clean up the poop. Excuse me.
The
I
only
think the
safe
most-
jobs were like blacksmiths
I'll be right back, you guys.
and like retired
Okay.
veterans.
I don't think in medieval times you could retire.
Well, technically it's not called retiring. It was considered
Dead.
You become like too old to go to battle, but not old enough to quit doing something. So you're teaching. They force you to teach,
Right. Yeah, you're right.
and then they still send you to battle, even though you're too old. We're out of soldiers. We need you in the front line.
See, what you need to do is try to be a gladiator.
You mean a
Okay, no,
slave?
that's even worse because you're
You mean a slave?
at least during war
Be a
I have a
slave
chance
for
of
battle?
survival.
Yeah, but at least you're fed and glorified.
Until I
Until
die.
you're killed, and then your body just piles up somewhere in a corner.
They normally didn't kill off their gladiators. At least they're good gladiators.
They try not to.
The mortality rate for gladiators wasn't actually high. It's just publicized like that because they think people in movies want to see that like that.
That's why when I play Dark Souls and stuff, instead of like getting like the heaviest armor and the heaviest weapon and shield, I just go for the light stuff and roll around. Dodge everything I can.
Yeah, because those maces, yo.
Not even that, the enemies in Dark Souls. Dark Souls was the epitome of the medieval age. Anything and everything to kill you, regardless of what it was.
Yep.
50-foot demon, of course you know that you could die for that. One lone skeleton, and you died? Yeah. You didn't see that coming.
PJ, do you know if Katie's coming back?
I just messaged her to see, or
Oh,
try to get an
coming.
update.
Well, she told me the baby ain't going to sleep. So, I don't know. I'm worried for her, actually. I feel really bad.
And I've reached the point of no return. I've been fighting it by talking about medieval stuff, but it's not working anymore.
But all the medieval stuff does all the things.
No, don't. Dark, we need you to kill these guys, and then we can go.
What? There are people here? These guys aren't attacking us.
Oh, I know.
If they do, they'll just...
Beg for mercy.
I don't know what I'll do. They probably have a lot of health, so I can't really one-shot them except by exploding again in fiery armor.
Well, really the only... Yeah. You guys never... Well, yeah, you did fight one of these people before.
No, we have not.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
My second option is to go wind armor and just have you guys hold them off while I hellstorm them.
You fought the jailer, which was one of them.
Damage. Yes, damage. On that, I'll have a lot of energy to use it again.
Though I don't think you'd be able to get off easily.
What, Hellstorm?
Yeah. Since we already know Eowyn's gonna be protecting Furia first.
I have to go hide behind him. Tell him to move.
The only way you could get protected is hiding behind Furia.
I'm back.
Hey, Jason.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. You came on and everyone was just kind of like. I feel like you didn't get really a chance to play.
No
I
problem.
mean,
I wasn't
we
planning on
wanted,
working today.
we wanted to RP with him, but Eowyn and his love fest was just getting in the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I really am.
No, don't be sorry. It's fine. Stuff came up. It happens.
I just feel really bad.
Makes you feel any better? Tomorrow I get to go DM again.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Over Roll20 or in real?
Bye.
Nice.
Yep.
I can't find a group of friends who are willing to play, so.
I have a group of 6 friends. Right now we're doing the Red Hand of Doom.
What is that?
It's a D&D pre-made.
Oh, from.
3.5 edition.
Is it a one-shot?
Yep.
Is it a one-off campaign? Oh, okay.
But it can be incorporated in your campaign if you wish. Because all the happenings happen in a place called Elsmere Valley.
Hey, BJ.
Yo. What's up?
Can we implement the rule that if we describe our attacks real well, we get more weapon experience?
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
You're starting to feel the hunger.
No, I just found out that you get more ability points by leveling up.
So the hunger is real.
The hunger is very real.
It's kind of upsetting that all the other classes have something that gives them weapon experience.
Well, my class is not that powerful in terms of killing. It's really not. So I mean,
My class
all
doesn't
the
give me any
benefits-
weapon experience either.
Oh,
And not to mention, going defensive stance gives up your ability to auto attack.
yeah. Yeah, so my character is not meant to fight.
Yes, but he's almost leveled in weapon experience.
Oh, I guess the reason why I'm higher level than you because I leveled up pretty fast. Well, I actually started off at level 12.
Must be
Wait, that's
experience.
wait, Dark. I think you did it wrong. I think you did level up. You started off at level 11, didn't you?
No, I started off at 10.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like
no.
two sessions ago. You didn't. You leveled up, right, with us, right?
No, I did not.
That's odd.
I was down by like 40 something points.
You
That's
also
why
level or get experience, Eowyn.
Huh?
You also get experience.
Oh. From From defensive stance?
Yeah, you get 1. Or if I'm thinking of the
4.
right thing.
I get 4. I get 4 experience for just being in a defensive stance. So I guess my character leveled up pretty fast. 4. PJ, does my recruit class? Could I have just picking up? Could I dual class into a prestige class?
Say again?
Could I have done that? Could I have dual class into prestige?
I can't hear you.
So right. Could I have just done war guard and what's the a soldier, whatever, the upgraded class for recruit?
You would have to have 10 levels in recruit to get to that.
Oh wait, okay.
That's how.
So
it is.
so we're dividing the levels to each.
No. You choose what level you're leveling up. Or you choose what level it goes to when you're leveling up. So you either level up your recruit or you level up your sentinel.
So if I level up my recruit,
If you wanted to get to soldier and war guard, you'd need to be a minimum of level 20 effective character level.
thank you. Okay.
I'll try to make sure you live long enough to get that far, but no promises.
I think the war guard, one of the benefits is I level up pretty fast. So I think, I mean, I won't get it there anytime soon, but I think I get there.
Hey Vex, do you have infusion?
No, because I had no equipment. I was originally going to get it, but decided not to. Because yes, the amount of energy that I could give to somebody would be useful. But that's
You know
why I
what?
picked the orb drop passive, because it gives more energy right off the back than the other one does.
The what?
Soul drop
Oh,
gives 5 energy, but the weapon that I have would only give 4. So soul drop's more effective because I don't use any uses if I don't want to.
you know, and you don't spend energy to use.
Yep. So it's just more effective to get right now.
PJ, do I have anything to block magic damage?
Effectively, no. You have your face.
So if I wear armor, does it go through my armor?
That it does.
What's your resistance?
8.
Just throw me in front of it, I'll be fine.
Oh, what's your resistance?
10.
Oh, nice. Okay, can I ask you a question? What's a king shield? Is king shield the next class?
King Shield and Summit Sword.
It's the next class, right?
It's you choose either or.
Okay.
And you can choose to do that at level 30 or 20.
Or 20?
Depending on how many sentinel levels he has and war guard levels, right?
Say again?
Depending on how many sentinel and war guard levels he has.
If he
Right.
is level 20 and Sentinel, you can go, or technically it'd be
War guard.
War Guard. You can choose to go into Summit Sword or
King shield.
King Shield, or you can wait and get to level 30 and then do it. So you would get
Man.
10 more levels of leveling up. Or if you just want to go ahead and prestige to get your abilities, you could do it at level 20.
Can I do it at level 25?
No.
Okay.
It's 20 or 30. All or nothing.
I get it. I really wish I could see into more of the recruit cast. So if